G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach Swordplay. It is time to open up the mailbag. Now, at this point of the year, I wasn't expecting many questions, but yet again, we've hit the 50 mark. I think there's 53 in total. And as we promise each and every week, we will get to every one of your questions in the mailbag tonight. Apologies again, I'm flying solo. It's been tough for everyone to get together. By the time we finish the pod and that gets out, it's sometimes 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So this week, it is just me again, but I promise you next week, we're going to get some of the other boys on. So we are going to get right into this. Be sure to check out, obviously, the podcast if you haven't already listened to that. The boys will be coming out tomorrow night with the Thursday team lives. Janath has just put out a GDS review. Make sure that you get into Game Day Squad because it's fantastic competition. And Janath is absolutely flying along with Rossco there. And I'll have a very late round review with some of my final trade plans, as well as the Supercoach stock market video. It'll be back. However, I am purely taking requests rather than spending hours upon hours getting all this info on basically every relevant player in the comp. I want you to now tell me who you think is relevant and who you want me to cover. So I did put a post out on X, maybe about half an hour ago. So check that out. If you want a player covered, please comment there. I'll keep it all in the one spot, and then I'll make sure that whoever you want me to cover in that tweet, I'll get to in the stock market video this week. So let's get straight into this. The first one is from SB at Don Headlock. How are you, buddy? Where do I get a Swordplay beanie from? Freeze my tits off in Gippsland. Oh, mate, it has been shocking weather lately. I've been in this gym. There's no aircon and there's no heaters. So freeze your ass off in winter. You just boil during the summer. So terrible conditions, but Gippsland, nice and cold up there. Thank you very much for your support, mate. Remember that anyone that does buy a beanie, $5 goes towards the Royal Children's Hospital Good Friday appeal. That's a cause that we're really passionate about and we love supporting. So SB, my man Jono has come to the rescue here. One of the longest serving members of my channel and a great mate as well. Check the website, supercoachswordplay.com. So that's exactly where you need to go, mate. You'll see up here, we've got the catalog section. You can see the beanies, the hoodies that I'm wearing at the moment, jumpers, notebooks, the rugby polos. When I say rugby polos, I think they're not rugby toppers. I think that's just the style of them. That's what they're called, or polos, whatever you want to say. But they're fantastic. So yeah, feel free to check out supercoachswordplay.com for any of our merch, and really do appreciate your support, mate. It does mean a lot to us. And for anyone that has bought some merch and you haven't already, in our Twitter feed, send through your photo or DM, whatever it is, of you with the merch on, and we'll add you to our wall of fame. We've got over 50 people there already, and we'd love to add some more. So thank you very much to everyone for your support there, guys. All right, Davo. Davo asks, can you rank these three, please? Darcy, Horny, and McRae. Now, we obviously did this in our podcast, so that's where you need to go in order to get all the deep and detailed info there. But Dave's planning on bringing two of these guys over the next couple of weeks. He wants to know who I'd get this week and who he'd get the next week. So, it's a bit of a tough one. Look, I think with Darcy at the moment, that break-even's now gone right down. He does play North Melbourne next week, the week after. That is going to be such a juicy matchup, in my opinion, though. Toby Pink has been playing extremely well. We'll see what matchup happens there, but I really do like Darcy. Overall, I like Horny. So what I'd be probably doing this week is I'd be getting Darcy in, and then I'd have another look at the other two players in your Horny and your McRae, and then assess that and then go the next week. Horny just worries me a little bit with that shoulder, with that forward time as well. He's been kicked out of the CBA's last couple of weeks, and maybe for good reason if he has been a little bit sore, but that is a slight concern. I'd really like to get another week's info and take another look at the Horny man. So yeah, for me, it's Darcy and then most likely Horny, but yeah, see how he goes. McRae could hit the roof and you like him all of a sudden. So that's probably advice I'd give there, mate. Hawksy, haven't got much to share with the team this week, but I'm begrudgingly considering a Whitfield trade out. Oh, kills you, doesn't it, mate? I'm an owner too. To Mills due to his concussion history, not his scoring. Is there genuine worry there, or is this an overreaction? Oh, look, I'm trying not to overreact too much. We've just seen what's happened with the Governor, though, unfortunately, medically retired. One of my favourite players, Justin Clark from Brisbane back in the day, really intelligent bloke, but he suffered with concussion. He ended up retiring himself. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. And look, I am slightly worried about it, but we have seen a lot of players come back and come back okay from it. So I'm hoping he's in that basket. So I'm not getting overly concerned. But look, if you want Mills in your side, go for it. He's going to get that extra game. But the great, was it David Zeta? JG put out a tweet asking if he'll be available that 12-day protocol for the next game. And according to Zeet, if he ticks all the boxes, yes, he will be available. So he was missing with the bye anyway. So I'm looking at it pretty much like that he's missing with the bye anyway. And that could be his bye week, the concussion week. But a little bit concerned, but I'm holding for now, buddy. Don't know if you've finished yet, but any rookies, Liddy, Ellen, May, who's got the best security for the season as cover? Yeah, go back to the podcast for that, mate, because really for me, I just said there's McCarthy and Sam Butler, but the boys did mention a couple of other names, so make sure that you go back there. Look, I'm really not too sure myself. I'm really not too sure. Go back to the trade section. I know that someone's getting Liddy or Allen. I forget who it is, or it might be one or the other. Go back and go straight to the trade section, mate, if you want to find out. Benji, hey, man, is it better to have 22 genuine primos with Tom Mack at flex or 23 dodgy primos with Rioli at D6? Or you need to sort of tell me who'd be in place. Like, what's the pairing here? So is it Rioli with who? Is it? Yeah, so comment again, Benji, and let me know which players you're actually comparing here in the pair, and we'll give you our say on that, mate. But as a bit of a general question about the whole 22 guns or 23, I've personally gone your 23 approach, but as well as doing that, I've made a bit of a sideways this week. So I feel like I'm trying my best to get the best of both worlds. So bring in that last premium as well as sidewaysing Lockie Neal. So I've decided personally at this stage, as things sit, to sideways Neal and get Mills in rather than just get Horn Francis in that flex. So Bolton's going to go to flex. It's dodgy, but I think that's what I'd probably prefer to do at this stage, if that gives you, any idea about what I'm thinking anyway, mate. Chrissy, evening, boys. Thanks a lot for your advice. No worries at all, mate. I'm one trade away from full promo. Just need to upgrade Hall at F6. Lots of teams looking very samey. I've got 480k to play with. Can go JHF, but we'd love your thoughts on Moore or Cozzy as a pod F6. Cheers. Well, yeah, we talked a little bit about Cozzy, and Cozzy, he has a really nice ceiling, but then has a bit of a lull at times. I would have Cozzy over Dylan Moore, although I really rate Dylan Moore when he's in the right role and things are going well. I can give you 140 and a 160, but I'd probably have Cozzy over Moore, and then I'd have JHF over Cozzy. So my order would be the Horny Man, Cozzy, and then Moore after him, mate. But yeah, every one of those blokes on their good day can give you a really nice score, buddy. Kepler, man, would love to know more about Janath's med school and his pathway into it, and if he's doing the mailbag this week. Sorry, mate, you have not got the intelligent one on the podcast this week doing the mailbag, but I did tag Janath there at the third man up. So I'm sure he'll get back to you on that, brother, because he's an absolute whiz, is Janath. He's a great man. Team Iconic. Love your work, guys. Thank you very much, mate. With 6 trades left, Johnson Clark to Mills / loop option this round, or Johnson Clark to Whitfield / loop after round 17. AK short to go with option 2 this round, which means I have to wait for Whitfield to drop in price or the Essendon boys to go up in price. Yeah, so 16, 17. Oh, so you said after 17. Yeah. That's a tough one. We just had concerns before about how he's going to go in the short term after this concussion. And it's a little bit risky waiting, because we know that our best laid plans can just go completely out the window. I don't mind Mills as a pick. I'm doing it myself. But, would you rather Whitfield or Mills? It's an easy decision, and it's Whitfield, but you have to wait that little bit longer on that. So, yeah, do you need on-field points this week, mate? Is it a tough week for you? That probably plays a little bit into it. I don't mind. I suppose if Whitfield doesn't work out, there's other options that you could. Oh, but at that price as well, AK short. Yeah, it's a 50-50 one, mate. I'd probably, if you're 50-50, based on how you're looking for the buys, brother. Caro, hey lads, love the work that you do. True legends. Thank you very much, mate. Thoughts on Jessica Cameron as a cheaper forward pod with the form and fixtures over the next 4 weeks? Seems to be bagging 7 goals against everyone. Cheers. I actually like it, mate. I actually like it, but be prepared that I'm going to say at least 2 weeks out of his season run, he's going to drop potentially some really poor scores. But at the same time, I think with his fixture and those potential ceiling games, the form that he's in, the run to the Coleman, all the rest, he could really reward you in certain weeks. So at the end of the day, it really does balance out with a lot of these key forward types. He's not your traditional key forward, and he's arguably the best key forward in the comp. So I don't actually mind it. I brought in Sam Darcy last week as a key forward, that pinch hitter in the ruck. Again, a bit of a different type unit to our traditional type guys. He's just a different beast. So, yeah, look, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. He's at that cheaper price. You're not really paying up. And in saying that, though, you do need to be prepared for a couple of duds within those ceiling games, mate. Good luck, bud. X, how are you, mate? Very out there, but thoughts on Reece Stanley as some sort of ultra value 23rd/24th, has an unbelievable run home. Despite him being a bang average ruck at best, he's got job security. I'm going to have to say no on that one, mate. As you said, like, he's a bang average ruck. That's pretty much it for me. With the 23rd/24th, the issue is he'll be stuck at that flex, or you got to have him at flex, really, don't you? And you do lose flexibility from that. And I don't think that, if I'm going to get a ruck at flex and lose that flexibility, he's got to be a damn good ruck for me. So I'm going to say no to that, mate. But hey, go with your gut. I could get it completely wrong because he does have a very good run. Mega, how are you, mate? Just did a poll on X. Should I go Bolton to Darcy? Leaves me with 3 trades instead of 4. Have you got that 23rd already? Have you got McCarthy as that 24th? If so, I think that's fine. Bolton is a very frustrating pick, and Darcy's a really fun pick to own. In saying that, he is a young key forward, so he could give you some stinkers. He'll go completely out of the game from time to time. I expect that. But if you can, for your own probably sanity, I wouldn't mind doing it, mate. But be prepared for Bolton scale 140 for some reason this week, just because you trade him out. But yeah, don't mind it, mate. I'd much rather Darcy than Bolton. Andy Ratchek, how are you, mate? G'day, legends. Thoughts on Johnson, Clark, Noble? Pod backfired. Hey, all good, man. He gave it a crack, and all you could do is give it a crack. To Liddy, Sam, Darcy, and Mills. Love it. Leaves me with 3 trades for the season. Currently McCarthy at flex. Hopefully can bring in someone else in a few weeks if bench can generate cash. So you're going Noble, who's a pod who hasn't worked out, all good, and a couple of rookies, and you're getting Liddy in as that rookie, Sam Darcy, like that, and Mills as well. So, yeah, I'll give you the tick on that one, mate. Nice work, Andy. And, hey, don't beat yourself up about a pod that hasn't worked. It's all good, brother. All good. Happens to all of us. Here's legend, Jono Carroll. G'day, legends. I don't have a question to ask you this week. However, I do have something to say. On just behalf of everyone who tunes into this amazing podcast, your insights and banter this season thus far has been truly amazing. Thank you, lads. Go Saints, Dons, Baggers, and Lions. Thank you very much, Jono. Jono, you are an absolute scholar and a gentleman, mate. You're a great mate, as I said, and we really appreciate you, mate. I can speak on behalf of the community and all the content creators. You are a great support of all of us, and yeah, very, very special part of this community. I can tell you that much, mate. So thank you very much, brother. Lovely words from a great man, and do need to have a chat very, very soon. Uno, hey lads, who would be better bench cover, Zach Johnson or Angus Clark? This is a really good question, and the issue is, if you're looking to trade out one this week, you look at who's coming back or potentially coming back. There are so many bigger names to come back into the Essendon squad, and Zach Johnson and Angus Clark are the type of blokes that you could see leaving the squad. Or would you say, who's more versatile? Is Clark more versatile, maybe? Played forward, played back, played a bit of wing, maybe. Oh, it's so hard to answer. I don't know. If there's any Essendon supporters, please make a comment here or leave a comment here for Uno. Check out the comment section. And yeah, if you can help, that would be awesome. I would probably, and this is just no educated stuff here, but based off maybe versatility, Angus Clark, but again, could be completely wrong. FB Donkey. Now, FB Donkey, well, I'll tell you what, I'm a massive fan. Now, this great man has retired, but he was the co-host of the Supercoach Coach podcast. And that was one of my absolute go-tos. So the fact that I've got this great fella asking a question is very, very humbling. So FB Donkey, hope that you're well, mate. Who should I trade out? Relvin. Relvin. Oh, geez, I've butchered it. Sorry, mate. It just got, I don't read a head type thing. Who should I trade out? Either Kelvin or Roy. And who should I bring in? So, as most of you know, there was a little bit of a tiff going on with Kelvin from the official AFL Fantasy podcast, but all smooth out. I'll go into it a little bit just to tie up the loose ends and bookmark it in my round review. But I suppose, given the events, it's funny that no one really said much about Roy Boy. Calv, obviously, a bit of feedback for Warney as well, who had nothing to do with anything, but in this case, I'm going to have to say that you trade out Calv and you bring in Roy, because I haven't heard much about Roy, and Roy, Fitzroy, bit of a connection somehow there. So yeah, I'm going to go with Roy, but no, shout out to Calv. He did DM me, and yeah, we've smoothed things out. So all good there on the fantasy and Supercoach front. Cheers, Donk. Links, how are you? Begsy. Hey, lads, how are we? Quick question. Darcy versus the Horny Man. Final upgrades to complete the team. I'm leaning towards Darcy if the fun factor and Marvel run. JHF shoulder concerns. Didn't look overly great versus Swans. Cheers, lovely work. Well, Begsy, I'm going to be honest with you here, mate. That's pretty much everything I was going to say to you. It's like Darcy would be the fun own out of these two, I think. Look, Horn Francis does have some damage factor, and he's highly owned, so he can hurt from time to time. But that Marvel run, as you mentioned, I do have concerns over his shoulder. That's why I've actually gone back on my original plans and looking to now sideways kneel, because I was going to bring the Horny Man into my flex, but that shoulder does worry me slightly, and it's the CBA rate that also concerns me. So really don't know what's going on there. We saw Rosie come right back in. We know that Wines is out at the moment, but I just don't know what's happening with those moving pieces there. So I'm going to actually say Darcy at this stage, mate. But in saying that, the sensible pick is probably Horn Francis, and the traditional type pick is Horn Francis, but different beast this year, Begs. Stabby, hey, gents, if you can only afford one, who do you pick? Darcy or Horn Francis? Thanks, guys. Literally just answered it, mate. So cheers, Stav. It's a massive question. It's a massive question that I know many coaches are asking. Dalek, second question tonight. My apologies. Never apologise, mate. If I want to grab someone like Brayshaw this week, would you recommend trading out Neil or Merritt to get him? This is so tough. Please, this is not personal. Please, Chucky, my man. I despise both Supercoach picks. I really despise them as picks. Chucky, I don't know what to say. I've talked about it so much, but the fact that they don't tag Hugh McCluggage and they still tag Chucky and still lose games of football, I don't know why they do it, but he's just unselfish now. He's not the man that he was. He's not the Supercoach beast that he was when he gets tagged now. He used to be able to break a tag pretty well and avoid those real floor type scores, but yeah, unfortunately, he's just an easy trade out if you've got the luxury. And Zeret, like, what has happened to this bloke? Like, what on earth has happened? If he gets back into that midfield, then I think we're laughing. I think we're okay. Lockinield, even in that midfield, is just not too good. So, look, it's completely up to you, mate. I can't speak as a Merritt owner, but I can speak as a Neil owner, and I'm trading him this week, mate. So, yeah, it would be not fun whatsoever owning both, mate. Rhino Wilson, g'day, boys. Which of Zeret or Mills averages more from now to end of the season? I plan to trade Angus Clark to a 99k Rook to free up 118 for an upgrade, but I can generate 115 from Merritt to Mills instead if you think that move can improve my on-field scoring. Oh, look, can I? No, I'm not going to sit here and say I want to, but I need to really try to be sensible, not too reactionary about this. I'm going to say Zeret will average more. So I'm going to say Zeret averages more than Callum Mills for the rest of the season. But hey, I could have absolute egg on my face for saying that, but I just can't bring myself. And is it name? Is it history? I'm not too sure, but I can't bring myself to say that Zach Merritt will not average as much as Callum Mills. And I think we've also got to take into account the durability factor here. Mills much more of a concern than Zerrett is. So I'm going Zerrett, mate, over Mills. Just it could be very, very close, and I could get it wrong, but Zerrett for me, I think, buddy. Nath, can get one of Brayshaw, Dawson, or Anderson to finish off the midfields. Thoughts on these guys? Oh, I love them all. I love them all. Noah, just a really fun player to watch. So the fun factor, I'm going with Noah Anderson. Dawson for the draw later on in the season, like really nice, obviously, game this week against the Tigers, but then later on the season, that Supercoach finals fixture is absolutely elite. And that's one reason why I brought him into my side. Brayshaw has just been one of the Ubers, and we've had him basically a must-have in our tier ranking system. So given that fact, you'd probably have to go in that order, although, damn, it's such a hard question, mate. Fixture, as I said, I think, fixture-wise, Dawson, fun factor, Anderson. If you're going for who's got the most runs on the board this season, who's gone the best this season, it's Brayshaw, mate. So that's the best that I can give you. You've got to decide which one you'd prefer, mate. I can't speak to you on that, but all the best, Nath. The good thing is that all three of these blokes are going to be wonderful options, excuse me, for you moving forward, mate. Jaded, danger at F7M9 after his buy at 330k. Oh, do you know what? This could be a solid move with the good fixture. The issue for me, Jaded, and this would be the massive concern, is with danger and with Geelong's history of resting players towards the end of the season before finals, those older type bodies, I can see them resting him. Now, you've got F7/M9, so you don't necessarily need him on field. So I suppose in saying that, you'd be unlucky to really need him for the week that he does get rested, or if or when he may not. I'm not too sure. So do you know what? As a real pod move, I don't mind it. He's not a player I'd be falling over myself to bring in, but at 330k for Patrick Dangerfield, who against weak opposition on his good day could score well. The only maybe slight concern there as well, if it is weaker opposition, is it more of a chance of an early sub out, given the fact, or a rest even? They'll probably want him there for the harder matchups, won't it? So yeah, it's a tough one. So hopefully I've at least given you some things to consider about the pick anyway, Jaded. But cheers, mate. All the best. Jazza, as an North supporter, I'd just like to check in on Janath and make sure that he's all right. Well, we have to speak on, he'll have to, speak on that one, mate, but was pretty flat about the Blues. I must admit, pretty flat. Furthermore, being realistic after the second and third quarter, shouldn't we beat 2026 premiers? Well, wait, I had you a little bit higher up the ladder in my ladder rankings, my preseason ladder rankings. So I hope that you boys come home with a wet sail and you can get to that slot for me. That'd be really nice. So, should be hopefully a bit of a better time to win the season, but geez, it's been frustrating for you, mate. On Supercoach, is Darcy Cameron looming as a possible option instead of getting gone? This week, you would love Darcy Cameron. I think Darcy Cameron could go to the moon and potentially give you his best score of the year. So, look, he's you're asking, is he a possible option? Yes, he is a possible option. Would I rather Darcy Cameron? No, I would rather Gawn. But yeah, absolutely a possible option. You'd love Brody Grundy at the moment. TDK, lower in the rankings for me now. Jules, Crazy Frogs, how are you, bro? 4 trades left. McCarthy at flex. What do you do with Bolton? Sideways to McRae is very tempting. Too many wink butchers in the team. You cannot call people butchers, Jules. You muppet. You know how much I love you, mate. Oh, look, Bolton. I thought Bolton's like your type of pick. You got him in last year, didn't you, Jules? I remember had the captaincy on him. I'm pretty sure from memory, mate. He's your type pick, but he's frustrating. McRae, look, you know what you get. McRae's going to be that more even keel type play with the chance of a bit of a ceiling, whereas I think Bolton, he's going to go a lot higher on some weeks and then a lot lower on others, mate. So do you want a roller coaster? We can't call him a butcher. We'll call him a roller coaster. Do you want a roller coaster or more of a, a Sunday morning, sit on the couch, drink a cup of tea type thing is, I think, the way we describe that sort of situation in the potty. So that's the best I can give you there, mate. I would rather McRae than Bolton. That's what I've got to say. But with 4 trades, is it worth it with McCarthy at flex? Yeah, maybe even with St Kilda's draw, mate. Maybe. Broads, Darcy or Mills for flex. Oh, Darcy finishes my team with 22 and McCarthy with 1 rookie playing on each line for bench cover. 5 trades left. So hopefully get the 23rd. Yes, sweet, mate. I would go Darcy myself on that one, mate. But Mills is fine as well. Logs, away Logs. Trades are precious now. Absolutely, my friend. And at a time where all I can do is pick my captains for the week. So I just want to say huge thanks to you, lads, for helping everyone all year. Another awesome year to date. Cheers, boys. Thank you, mate, for tuning in each and every week. You're a great Blues man. As we know, tough week for you last week against North. I'm hoping for some better days for the Baggers and a really ripping end to your Supercoach season, mate. But they are really kind words, mate. It's the reason why we do these type of things. And, we really do appreciate that feedback, Logue. So all the best, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Talk about the legends. Here we are. Kata, hey, gents. Hope you're all well. If you only trade in one, would you go McRae or Darcy? Good question, mate. There's been a lot of Horny Man versus Darcy. And I suppose given the fact that I've had Horny Man behind Darcy, yet in front of McRae, I've got to say Darcy, mate. And it isn't just based off just that week last week. We're expecting that, and that's why I brought him in with that really high break even. But it's the fact that he looks dominant in the ruck, even when he's in the ruck, cutter. So maybe if he's getting shut down and things aren't looking great for him up forward, they go, hey, let's just switch things up a little bit, get this man around the ball, because we know how good he is below his knees as well. But there were a couple of contests I remember, lovely tap out. I think he may have even got it back, but he just looked fantastic in there as well. So I think that's the great thing about Darcy. Similar to what like a Joey Danaher did, now premiership year, when things weren't going well for him in the forward line or things were just a little bit cold like ice down there, we'd get him into the ruck and we'd get him involved, and that would do wonders for his confidence, just getting his hands on the ball, and then that would often lead to a little bit of action up forward for him. So, yeah, I do like Darcy, just given the fact he's that different beast, and he's such an enjoyable watch. He's a really enjoyable watch. Nothing more frustrating than seeing the Dogs playing really, really well. And the Dogs are a side that I love watching as well. And seeing Sam Darcy just put the hands up there and poor old defenders doing their best, but just basically helpless. So, yeah, Darcy for me, mate. But McRae, how am I saying Darcy over Supercoach royalty? It's a year like that, isn't it, Kata? But just my opinion, buddy. I would actually back your gut over anything I say because you're one of the best coaches out there, mate. ISR, how are you, man? And love the Lenny pick as well. Massive Simpsons fan. Hey, lads, thoughts on Dill Moore as a cheap F6? Yeah. Look, in our tier rankings, we did have him as better options available. At the price, at a low price for potential, yeah. But when you look at those scores this year, very, very low and mediocre, apart from a couple of good ones. If there's a chance of a role change, and we're talking a long-term role change or for the majority of the rest of the year, then yeah, possibly. But the way things sit, I don't think so. If you are desperate and really need someone at the price, then yes, I think he's probably the bloke that you go for if you just can't afford to get anyone that's been half decent for us this year. And when I say half decent, that's disrespecting Dillmore. The Darcys of the world and these blokes are the hot topics, I suppose you'd say ISR. But yeah, if you're desperate, but if you can, I'll try to get someone else in, bud. Mill, how are you, mate? Who are you cooking tonight, DR? Should start a spin-off pod, DR roast. Oh, look, mate, there was a little bit of entertainment there, wasn't it? And it was I got a lot of feedback for it. And you're not the first one that's asked me to have a more regular roast. But look, I don't want to be known for that. I'm trying to be Mr. Positive most weeks, mate. And I don't want to get in the habit of roasting anyone. It's very, very rare that I do this. And maybe that's why people enjoyed it. It was a little bit out of the box and something a little bit different. But look, I'll always stand up for myself. And if I think that someone I care about or has been wrongly done by, I suppose you'd say, then maybe you'll see another roast. But hopefully I won't need to for a very long time. Lobsters SC. Trade one of Cripps, Ned Long, or McKercher to Bont next week. Cheers, boys. So if you're asking which one I would, I'd probably be trading out Cripper. I'll be honest with you. He's just not looking like it. I love Ned Long. That real bull, which Cripps is. I know. I understand this, but Ned Long just seems like a better version at the moment. And McKercher, look, very up and down. Bit of controversy, the old butcher this week. But when he's kicking starts to improve, and we know that it can. I actually rate his kicking. Then with that DPP, I think that he's probably a pick that I'll look to hold. So I'm probably trading out Cripper myself, mate. A Brownlow medalist. You wouldn't believe it, would you? Marty, please. Here we go. If vegetarians care, what is this? About animals so much, why do they eat all their food, please? Maybe controversial here. I'm not too sure. I cannot speak on this because I'm not a vegetarian myself. I can speak on behalf of Spillsy. He's not. I know Janath's not, because Janath's family has prepared a wonderful feast for us before. Plenty of meat there as well, and a birthday cake for me. They are the most beautiful people on the planet, and love them so much, like my own family. Rossco, I don't think so, but I don't reckon I've sit down and had a chomp with Rossco, so I don't know what he's sort of into. Any vegetarians, please comment for Marty, please, down below. But you asked the most interesting questions out there, mate. My favourite was a urinal one, and I think I had a fair answer for that. But keep them coming, Marty. Keep them coming, please. Steph, hey, guys. Thinking of the following 3 trades, Brock, McKercher, and Gray for Liddy, Darcy, and McRae. Cool. Leaving with 4 trades and full primo. Not sure about Kirch, but change gives more flexibility. Yeah, look, I think that is fine. Look, I'd be quite happy keeping on to Kirch if you could, and even just going Brock and Gray to Liddy and Darcy. If you can do that, I would. Oh, no, but you've got more flexibility in the forward line. That's fine, mate. Yeah, that's fine doing that. And I like the way that you're thinking about that. And that's why, again, I'm finding it difficult not to trade in Horn Francis this week, but it's already been mentioned. Who was it? Was it Begsy? I think it was. He pretty much said himself, shoulder concerns, questions here and there. So, yeah, I think that's fine. Supercoach HQ. Hey, man. Hey, boys, I've got 2 options. 1, Long and Bolton to Dawson and Darcy. Oh, I like that. Bank 110, 5 trades. 2, I already like this. I can see Neil out. Neil, Long and Bolton, Dawson, JHF, Darcy, 159, 4 trades. Do you know what? I'm doing that, man. So you're getting... So Neil would be here. But you're keeping Sheldrick here. What's the difference going to be between Sheldrick and Neil? Look at the scores just last week. Neil's going to come with a few ceiling games, I know it. But you are getting in Dawson, JHF, Darcy. So it's basically here. You're asking me Neil for JHF, which is a really, really tough question. That's tough. Where will JHF be? There, the McCarthy. Sheldrick. Oh, man. I'm really happy with either. You've got that extra money with the other way. Neil's missing a game. 2. But I'd be tempted to go 1 as well, but 2. Just because I'm such a fan of trading out Lockie Neil. Watch him just burn me so much. And it's going to be so difficult to watch if he does tear it up, because in my heart of hearts, I really want the bloke going well. I love him as a person. I love him as a player. I'm a mad Brisbane Lions man. He's the captain of our club. I want to see him dominate. But, yeah, it would shatter me from a Supercoach sense. But option 2, give me a chance to Callahan as well. Yeah, go option 2, man. Causa, the ladies' man, Blackledge. Who was the best vice captain and captain for my team this week? Okay, let's take a look. Causa, I'm looking straight to if you've got Dawson. Yes, you don't have Dacos. You have Sherry and you have Bont. You've got Dogger. But you can't do, the Bont too. So I would go, personally, Causa, maybe the Bont into Jordan Dawson. Now, the Bont could cop James Jordan, but will he do much to Bont? I'm not too sure. Could he just go to Ed Richards? Potentially. Could he go to Bailey Dale? Potentially. So I'll just take the chance on Bont. We saw what the man did last week. He's a man on a mission. And go him into Giordano Dawson. Causa. All the best of luck, my brother. Maddie, how are you, mate? G'day Legends, 93,700 in the bank. Trade thoughts are Gross to Butler, yeah. Kako to Liddy, think that's cool. And the box to Mills, cool, 24 in bank. I don't love the 2 trade-ins, but will get me cover on all lines, which is good. We'll be then 1 primo short of a completed team. What do you think? Also thoughts on my VCNC? Yep, think that is absolutely fine, matey. Your VCNC, where you got Dacos there and Dawson. I'd be going Dacos into Dawson. You've got Sherry there if you're keen on him. Probably not going against Wits. Wanganeen Miller has been in fine and fantastic form. I'd really like Brayshaw, but we're not sure if Windy's going to go to him or if he's going to go to Sarong, so a little bit risky there. So for me, it is Dacos against West Coast into Dawson against Richmond, mate. Really nice matchups there with blokes that both have massive ceilings on their right day too. Ian, Isa, how are you, mate? G'day, gents. Thank God it's the last buy with you, mate. I normally go up in the buys. I should actually check my history. I don't think there's been a year I can remember where I've actually lost a lot of ground, if any ground, during the buys. It's normally my strong period, but yeah, different beast. Move the Bombers boys early to JHF. Nice. Would you downgrade to a dead rook or invest in a playing rookie? Other option is to put 100k on Neil, full send to go 3 trades. Thoughts? Also, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? That's random as the last one. I come to think of it, I don't think I have. But it's not like it's like where's Wally and where's the baby pigeon and I'm actively looking for him. So I don't recall seeing one. It's an interesting question. Is there a reason behind this? I was literally just going to ask myself, do they not have babies? I was actually going to ask myself that question in my head. This is how my brain is working at the moment. I'm not the right person to be given advice on a mailbag at the moment. I was going to ask if pigeons actually have babies. No, they clone and wowee. I like your early move to JHF. Me. Would you downgrade to a dead rook investment play? Well, it depends if you need. Do you need the cover? So you got McCarthy, Liddy, we don't know, and Gray. Ooh, I'd probably even go on a playing one if you're looking to do that, mate. 100k on Neil, full send. I'd love to get Neil out, but yeah, if for this question here, looking at your cover, oh no, you got the flex of McCarthy. You got 24. He can cover forward. No, you don't actually have to. Yep, if the 99k can help you out, then just go for it, mate. But make sure you get DPP with the non-player. Burners, hey lads, this is a team going in around 16, full premium, however, 3 trades left. Clark, Neal, and Johnson for Mills, McRae, and 99k Rook. Bit worried about only 3 trades. Any thoughts on trades? Neal, Clark, Johnson, you're getting Mills, McRae. Yep, so he's splitting Mills. So he's splitting Neal. Yes, I think that's fine, mate. I think it is fine to split Neal. Seamus, DPP updates, please, mate. Unfortunately, I hate to do this, but I don't have any updates whatsoever, sorry. So I will get onto the men that do know about this and see if I can find out for you, mate. I'll do my best to find that out, but I don't know if there's much publicly available info on it. Harvey, hey Harves, hope it's not too late. It is not, just absolutely lost with what to do with the team, fellas. Any trade recommendations? Okay, so you're full pre-made and back with Whitfield. You are 1 down in your mid. Full, so 2 rucks, good. Baz will come on. So a couple down. Yeah, so I'd need to look at your salary, mate, with what to do. But you've got Stone there, who is looking dead, and he's almost 200k. So there's a little bit of money on his head. Erasmus is the type of bloke that you'll put the money on, I think. Johnson has a buy this week and has money on his head, as does Clark. So at this stage, I'd be looking to get in. You've already got McCarthy. Possibly, could you go, I don't know what your trades and everything's like, how much money you got, mate, but could you go potentially something like a Stone to a Butler? And then you've got your Clay Hall type there, Johnson. Maybe get your Johnson out, upgrade your Erasmus, or Erasmus down, Johnson up. Yeah, that's what I'll be looking to do, mate. So invest in a rookie or two. Could be like your Butler, your 99K, your Liddy, if he floats your boat, and then looking to upgrade one of those on-field spots. And who would you go? Well, in the forward line, you're looking pretty good. It's probably Sam Darcy. If you're looking to go this week, you've got Nick Martin's a really good option. The ultimate is your Dogger, but costs an arm and a leg. Midfielders, you've got Bont, you've got Butters, you've got Brayshaw, Dacos, which is really, really nice there. Chera and Neil. So there's a number of options, mate. I like Jordan Dawson. I think you've got, Andersons, your Libbers, your Sarongs, your Tom Greens, if you're not looking to go this week. So you've got so many good options there, mate. Your Ed Richards types. I could keep on going. So, or maybe I couldn't keep on going too much with great options. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking to do, mate. Carrots. Afternoon, gents. Hope everyone's had a great week. Thank you, mate. My conundrum is, do I waste 3 trades and get Mills in as my final primo and be left with 3 for the remainder of the year? With Shea, I'm literally in this situation, and that's what I'll be in. Or go JHF in for Shea, and then the next 2 weeks use Clark and Johnson to go to whoever I can afford and hopefully have 4 left, potentially Rosie, Brayshaw type. Or hold the trades this week and assess in the coming. Mills, JHF in for Shea. Well, if you're asking me, would I rather have Mills and Shea or JHF and a rookie, I'd rather have Mills and Shea, I think, if that's the crux of the question here. Well, you'd much rather have a Rosie or a Brayshaw at the same time. Brayshaw over Rosie for me, but you just don't know. It's hopefully have 4 left, potentially. So the words hopefully and potentially probably lean me more towards getting your Mills in, mate. That's what I would say anyway. All the best of luck, brother. Jed Harvey, hey lads. Keen to get your thoughts on the team and how best to get it to full primo. Currently have 252 in the bank with 11 trades. Worth noting, I'm playing for leagues. Round 16, Erasmus to Darcy. Cool. Round 17, Pedler to McCarthy. Cool. Round 18, Clark and Johnson to 99K Rook and a primo worth 551K. Yeah, I really like this, mate. Now, keep in mind that with someone like a Clark and a Johnson, it's very, very hard to predict what their price point's going to be in round 18. So that's the only question I'd have about this overall grand plan. I do love the fact you've got it. What are you expecting to be approximately? Oh, you've obviously done the maths there, but that's something you need to ask yourself, because we were probably expecting Johnson to be keeping his spot, to be making more money than what he will due to that low score that will now be in his 3-week cycle. I don't know if you guys can hear River going nuts in there. Sorry, it happens most videos. I don't think that you can, so I think it's all good. But completely losing my train of thought here. So that's just something to keep in mind, mate. Same as Clark. Are these guys going to be playing after the bye, or do they lose their spots to the other stars coming back? So I may be using the word stars lightly, some people may say, but there's some nice cattle to come back anyway. So, yeah, like the plan, but just make sure you're really confident with your maths with that 551K, mate. Isaac, how are you, mate? G'day, gents. Hope all is going well, and to you too, mate. 5 trades left, what I deem as a primo as possible. Should I be sitting on my hands with 5 trades and 2K in the bank? Wanted to get Bolton to Darcy, just can't do it in one move, and not sure if it's worth going down to 3 trades. Cheers. What do you got, mate? Holmes, Sinclair, Sheasel, Rosie, Whitfield, Mills, Sweet, Brayshaw, Butters, Dawson, Dacos, Georgie Boy, Real, Neil, Zeret. It's that Neil and Zeret is. I'm just thinking, rather than, Bolton to Darcy, would you go your Neil or Zeret up? That I'm just showing another option out there for you, bud. Sherry DeConning, Smith Petrarca, Daniel Warner, Bolton, Rank, McCarthy. Look, you've also got the old TDK to someone that you're more confident with. If you are, your Darcy, Cameron, this is your Darcy, Cameron, your Grundy, your Max Gorn. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Bolton, but you can't do it with one trade. Look, maybe if you're going to do it this week, I'd probably do one of your midfielders in Neil or Zeret, mate, to be quite honest with you. You could even look to flip, go your your Baz in the midfield if you really want to do that. I'm just giving you a couple of other options, mate, but it's always best to have some extra trades up your sleeve. I remember last year, I really came home with a wet sail while others were struggling because I was like that squirrel with the nuts in the tree with my trade, just wanted to hold off. The complete opposite to what I've done this year, which is probably why I'm hurting. And it worked out really well for me in 2024. So, yeah, never a bad thing holding on to those trades, mate. I think this. Oh, no, it's not the end, is it? I think. No, we've got a few. So, Mikael, g'day, lads. Which options would you reckon? Can't get Naz in 2 trades. Keen for your thoughts. Roberts, Neil, out. Mills, McRae. There's a lot looking at McRae this week. Neil, Clark, Roberts, McRae, Wang, Allen. We're using an extra run. But if you can afford that trade, absolutely, mate, I would love to get Wang in. So Wang versus Mills with an extra trade is absolutely 100% worth, in my opinion, mate. In my opinion. So, yeah, I would go for it. Kepler, hey, lads. Love your work as always. Thanks, mate. Bolton to the Horny Man this week. Do you guys approve? I would much rather the Horny Man than Bolton, but showed a little bit of concern. Here's the team. What other moves would you recommend, in your opinion, over the next few weeks? Oh, yes. I remember I did look through this, and I have replied, hey, mate, answers Mailbag video, but I would be looking, mate, for future moves. Carroll to 99k defender mid, and that way you've got DPP to swing with McCarthy, and upgrade one of TDK or Wits to Gorn when those prices match up more. Because remember, Wits did have a really nice game last week, so he'll be going up. Gorn should have a tough matchup against Wits this week. You'd think his price would be going down. The TDK, that's a concern. If Pito's named, that's a big concern. So, yeah, that's what I'd be looking to potentially do, or a move that you could potentially look to do in the future, mate. Came prepared for that one. Dalek, hey guys, hope you well. Oh, you asked, you said before, sorry for the second question. This must have been the first one. No problems, mate. I hope that you're well. I've just realized I overuse the word mate, don't I? Does it get annoying? I realize if I ever have to edit a video, which is very, very rare, but when I do, I think to myself, mate. People must get absolutely sick of that. But sorry, you got to put up with it. It's just a habit, and everyone's my mate around here. I'm feeling like downgrading Sard to Gray and Butler. Oh, sorry, downgrading Sard and Gray to Butler and Allen. Is it the right move despite missing half of the team due to the bye this week? What are your thoughts? Look at this stage. Okay, so what's your team looking like? Sinclair, Naz, Sheasel, Stewart, Whitfield, Zorks, Butters, Bond, Dacos, Rosie, Neil, Zachary Merritt, Long, and can't even see that. It must be Cordwell, is it? Oh, no, it's Zach Johnson. Okay. How many trades have you got left, mate? I'd be really trying to focus on upgrading. So you go on Butler and Allen, but I would almost, because you still need to upgrade slots in your side, that flex, I would be almost looking to upgrade your side first. And if you need to go down to that 99k to make it happen, then I would be doing that. If you don't need to go all the way down to make it happen, these guys are fine. No problems at all. Because you do need to generate something to make that upgrade. So, I think that is fine, mate. Big fella. Hey, legends. Currently got these trades. Trading out of the Whitfield or Zerrett for a player. 492k budget. I can afford McRae if I trade Zerrett instead. Who is best to get in that price range? LDU, massive pod. Been disappointing this year, though. Clark, Whitfield, Johnson. Oh, I'd love to keep Whitfield if you could, but you are splitting with Mills and LDU, so that's okay. Ford McRae, if I trade Zerrett instead. Oh, if we know that Lockie Whitfield's coming back from concussion, A-OK, I would so rather have Whitfield in my side, man. If you think he's going to come back well, I would trade out I'd almost trade out Merritt instead of Whitfield. I really would. My opinion, if you think that Whitfield comes back okay. Just my thoughts, though, brother. We are getting closer to the end, I think. Connor Pender, hey, mates, this is the team. Looking to move either McKercher or Neil this week to fund my F5 and F6 while moving McCarthy to the flex. What are your thoughts on this or something alternative? Move on either F5 and F6. Holmes, Sinclair, Clark, Dale, Wang, Zorko, like that. Brayshaw, Tom Green, Bond, Dawson, Strong, Dacos, Shearer, Neil, Smith, Track, Daniel, Darcy, then McKercher, then Gray May. Okay, so you need to upgrade those 2, and you got 6. So looking to move McKercher on Neil. Okay. Well, price-wise, you'd move on Neil. I think McKercher's got some more flex ability about him. I can't believe I'm saying this about Neil. I'm so negative on a champion, on a Supercoach champion. Maybe it's owner's bias here, but I would probably, if you're not keen on Neil, get him out. You make more money, which means you can invest in a high-quality player. So, yeah, I would probably move out Neil over McKercher. You also get an extra game as well. Sammy, hey lads, long-time listener, first-time mailbagger. Well, welcome, Sam, and I appreciate you, and I speak on behalf of all the lads, obviously, mate. Thoughts on sidewaysing Bolton to McRae, Darcy or McRae? It'll leave me 6 trades left. Finish team, 23 primos, if you don't mind. We'll already be bringing one of them in this week as my final forward primo. Cool. So, if you're asking me, Darcy or McRae, I'm saying Darcy. Holmes is there. Nice. Sherry, nice. Cool. Sinclair. Nice. Whitfield. Yeah, brilliant, mate. Yeah, I would say Darcy myself, mate. But they'll go with the mates. McRae gives them more flexibility, but Darcy for me. Nettie, shall I do Bolton or Darcy? Oh, I think it's just been, maybe someone's asked the same question. I think it's been a pretty common one. Or should I stick fat with Bolton? Look, if you got the trades and you can, then I would trade, but I'm not saying you need to move mountains for it or use your last trades to do it. If I trade Kirch this week, leave me 2 trades, means I have to keep McCarthy as 23rd, or should I keep Kirch and turn McCarthy into Whitfield? Turn McCarthy into Whitfield. Oh, 2 trades. If I trade Kirch this week, leave me 2 trades. Yeah, well, if you only got 2 trades, I wouldn't be doing a Bolton to Darcy. If you're doing Kirch to Bond this week, you won't have that luxury. I would be keeping on to those 2 if you are going ahead and getting Bont in this week, Nettie. Brad Dorr, what would you do? Pedler, Carroll, Bolton to Bont, Mills, Liddy. Love that. Carroll is my only way to Bont. Leaves me with 6 trades left. McCarthy as 24th. I would 100% be doing that, mate, every day of the week. And twice on Sundays, Brady. Bolton to McRae or Bolton to Darcy, or hold Bolton. Well, with your trades situation, I'd probably be holding Bolton. But as I said, Darcy I do like the best out of the lot. Go Spakes. Hey, lads. Hey, man, is it worth trading Whitfield to Mills if it means I can get Bont in? Whitfield's concussion history isn't great, and positive GWS won't risk him against the Eagles in Perth. Good point. If that's the case, then yes, if you can get Bont in, yeah, Bont and Mills, Whitfield out, yep, do it. Do it. And if you've got concerns about Whitfield moving forward, Ghosty, then that's another reason for you to pull the trade figure. Barnaby, hey, mate. Hey, guys, here's my finished team with 4 trades left. Is it any good? If I decide to get Dawson's last primo instead of a cheaper Horny or McRae because of his run home, it is scary. Absolutely it is, mate. We've touched on it. So let's rate the scene. Sinclair, Dale, Wang, Zorko, Whitfield, Mills. Sweet. Look, Mills, we always say this, love to have an Ash, or probably for me, a Max Holmes. I'd love to have Holmes in the Mills spots. That's probably the downside there. Bray, Noah, Butters, Bont, Dawson, Dacos, Shearer, Shees. Love that. Look, you've got Shees there. I've got Sinclair there. So again, that is fine. You'd probably want, your M8 upgraded slightly. Baz, Track, Daniel, Darcy, Warner, Rankin. Cool. Again, your doggers, who not many of us have, Nick Martins, but we're really pulling at things here. That is a perfect forward line, mate. Well, not perfect, but it's a very, very solid and fine forward line. Then McCarthy at your flex. Yeah, it looks sweet as, mate. Sweet as. Look, you'd love to have that McCarthy upgraded and have him as at 24th. But in saying that, you've got some of the big names there. I think you've got a really, really good team, Barnaby. So congratulations, mate, on the finished product. And 4 trades left. It's not going to be the finished product, but finished for now. Well done, mate. Steph, hey guys, thinking the following 3 trades: Brock, Gray, and McKercher for Liddy, Darcy, and McRae. We'll leave me with 4 trades and 4 Primo. Not sure about McKercher, but change gives me more flexibility in the forward line in case of injury, and having McCarthy on the bench. If that's the case, I give the thumbs up to that. Like Darcy, McRae, all good. And Liddy, you don't really need to rely on him. So, yep, all good from me, Steph. That was the last one. That was the last one, people. So, I don't even know how long that was. Oh, under an hour. So that's all sweet. But thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much to anyone that asked a question. I do need to apologize again that I was the only one here. I hate doing the mailbag by myself. I must admit, it is not fun, purely because I like to bounce off others. I don't want my advice to be the final advice here. I love to hear from Janath, Spills, Rossco, but just do the best I can. And my season hasn't been fantastic. I'm still in the top 2%, so not an absolute train wreck. But yeah, it's been so tough to give advice when you haven't necessarily been making the best moves yourself. It's going away from a gut. It's going with some other groupthink, not trusting myself. It's really hurt this year, but there is a fair way to go. We are starting to wrap up with our final teams and trades, but remember that who knows what's going to happen, even in the final month, even in the final 2 weeks, even in our Supercoach Grand Finals. There could be carnage, there could be rainbows, and a pot of gold at the end of it for you. We just don't know with this game. We love it, we hate it, and sometimes it's just a little bit in between. But that is it for the mailbag this week, guys. Much love. My late round review and final trades will be coming out, as well as that request stock market style video. Boys back with TDT, and then we'll see you again on the Sunday, where we start the content again for the week with the live Sunday. Oh, almost got there. With the live Sunday talk back. So thanks, guys. All the best. Much love. And we'll see you soon in the next one.